post our YouTube channel right here in the chat. I put a link to it, so if you want to link to that later, you most certainly may. Again, good afternoon. My name is Michael Mateo, principal of Evergreen, and it is a pleasure to welcome everyone to our kindergarten orientation. Obviously, this is not our preferred way to do kindergarten orientation, but at least this gives us an opportunity to interact with you and to provide you the information as we get started for the school year. Again, as I had mentioned, we are recording this for everyone later on viewing, so that is available. I'm also going to post a link to the presentation so you can go through our slides at your convenience as well. So just let me grab that real quick and then we'll go ahead and get started. And again, welcome and thank you for being here. All right, and as we go through today, please be aware that we do have the chat feature. If you have questions, go ahead and put them right here in the chat. I just posted a link to the slideshow so you can view that at your convenience. One other thing we're going to do today, in the middle of our presentation, we are going to break you out into rooms. So if you are familiar, if you already know who your teacher is, we want to make sure that we're able to assign you to that breakout room. You get a chance to have some discussions with your teacher. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now is if you can rename yourself. So the way you do that is if you can find your video box with your name in it, you just click the three dots and you can see where it says rename. You can rename yourself. So what I would like you to do is if you are in Miss Galloway's class, your child's in Miss Galloway's class, if you could just put a G in front of your name. For Miss Moio, if you could put an M in front of your name. And as if you're a GATE student with Miss FORGA, you would put an F. Now, I know some of you are connected on iPhones. That might be a little challenging. You can send me a chat message and I can assign your name for you. So once we get to that point, we'll be able to do that. But we're not there yet. So you've got a few minutes here that you can explore doing that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And so we have our presentation up on for everybody to view. This will kind of be a general overview of kindergarten. And we're going to introduce, first of all, the team. My name is Michael Mateo. I'm the principal at Evergreen Elementary School. We have, today, we have Miss FORGA, who is our GATE teacher. She's going to be the online teacher. So Miss FORGA, would you like to introduce yourself, say something?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie FORGA. And like Mr. Mateo said, I'm going to be the teacher, which means all of kindergarten is going to be online for your child. And we'll go over so many of the things. I just want you to know that I am so excited to be here and I am really ready for this year to start. So,
thank you, Miss FORGA. We have Miss Galloway, who is teaching the hybrid option. She's one of our hybrid teachers. Hi, Miss Galloway. Would you like to say hello?
Hello, I'm glad everybody has joined us today. We are very excited to get back into the classroom. I know it's only for 2 days a week for our children, but it's 2 days. A step hopefully in the right direction to getting back to some normalcy. I'm excited to meet your kids. I'm excited to work with you, and welcome to Evergreen.
Thank you, Miss Galloway. And we have Miss Moio, who is another kindergarten teacher. Would you like to say hello, Miss Moio?
Miss Moyo, you need to unmute yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ms. Moyo, Carla Moyo, and I'm really excited for the new school year to begin. I know it's going to be a challenge for all of us because it's different, but we're in this together. I've been teaching kindergarten for 7 years here, and I'm very excited for another school year to begin. So, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Moio. And as we go through today, I'll be talking about some of our other staff members and introducing them as well. But we have some slides for Ms. Forga. I should have advanced these while you were talking. I apologize.
A little bit about, oh, just kidding. I have two boys, Charles and William, who are my world. I absolutely adore them. I have only been at Evergreen for 3 years now. I came from Oklahoma, where I taught for 10 years. Even though your child will not be physically present in my classroom, they're going to learn a couple things about me. They're going to learn that I live off of coffee, Coke, and candy, and that I'm always buying things from Target because it's my happy place and sharing it with them. So.
Thanks, Ms. Forga. Ms. Galloway?
All right, so a little bit about me. My husband and I will celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary in October. We have 3 kids. My son just started his first year at CCAC, and my twin daughters are going into 7th grade, so they will be in middle school. My boxer named Callie celebrates her birthday this week too. And this is my 17th year with Gateway. I started in Ohio and taught for 2 years. I've been at Evergreen for the last 8 years. This is one of the best buildings in Gateway. I've taught in all of the elementary schools and I absolutely love it here. And you will find out that you will love it here too. My family, when I'm not here at school, we like to golf. We like the outdoor things, camping, going for bike rides, love the beach. So that was my summer this summer.
Thanks, Ms. Galloway. I apologize that we were flashing back and forth. I'm trying to monitor the chat and type as well, and it's advancing the slide. So I apologize to everybody for that. Ms. Moio, you want to go ahead and just add a little bit about yourself?
Hi, everyone. My name is Carla Moyo, and I have 4 children. Kayla's 21 years old, Marlena's 19, Jay is 14, and Santino is 12. Kayla's up at Slippery Rock in her senior year, studying to be a teacher. Marlena's studying at Pittsburgh Technical Institute for ultrasound. And again, the 2 boys are entering into junior high and senior high. So that's an interesting time for me. I've taught for 27 years. I subbed for 5 years before I started here at Gateway, but Gateway was all part of it as well. I attended St. Vincent College, obtained 2 master's degrees, one in special education, the other one in middle school and elementary. So other than that, I love to cook. I enjoy playing the piano, which I play by ear, write music. I spend time with my family, and I enjoy being outdoors. I like to camp, boat, ride my motorcycle and bicycle. So my favorite place to be is at the beach as well. So I'm really looking forward to the new school year, like I said before, and I think that we'll have a lot of fun things to share and talk about.
Thanks, Ms. Moyo. This is really important for our kindergarten kids this year, especially actually for all of our kids. We are really focusing on building relationships in our first weeks of instruction. And this is just part of that. We want to build relationships and we want to get to know our kids so we can effectively teach them in the virtual environment as well as the in-person environment for those of you sending your kids to school. So really important to get to know each other and interact. So Miss Jen Pack is our school secretary. She is available in the front office all the time for anything that you need. and she coordinates, she basically makes the building run. So you'll get to know Miss Pack, and please reach out to her and introduce yourself, especially if you're new to our Evergreen family. Our resource teachers that we have. Miss Jennifer Hayes, you're going to hear her name a lot. Your kids are going to be working with Miss Hayes. She is our reading support specialist that's in the building, and she'll be working with all of the kids. She will also be working with kids on an individual basis. She'll be doing a lot of assessments with the kids. We're going to talk about that a little bit as we go through our presentation today of how she works with everyone. Miss Janine Haribel is our speech and language pathologist. She will be actually screening all of the students throughout the year for any type of speech needs that they have. And she'll be working with students throughout the year on those skills. And then we have Miss Leah Bonney. Miss Leah Bonney is our ELL teacher, or ESL, English as a Second Language. For those students in the building who are not native English speakers, she will be working with them, screening them, and providing those services for those students as well. So these are just three faces that you'll be familiar with throughout the year. We also have Miss Caitlin Voynick and Miss Kim Ireland. They are our special education teachers. They'll be working with students throughout the year as well. So you'll be getting to know them through our interactions here at school. And I also wanted to mention one of the most important people in our building is our guidance counselor, Dr. Taylor. Dr. Taylor is going to be working with the students, providing lots of different guidance lessons, and really he's instrumental in building the culture of the building. And I do believe I did see him pop on. Dr. Taylor, would you like to say a word or two?
Hey, I just want to welcome everyone. I know these are extremely trying times. Obviously, with these being kindergartners, there is a huge trust factor. And we want you to know that Evergreen is absolutely the warmest building. This is my 20th year in the district, but this is my 6th year. How quickly it is going by at Evergreen. And I thought Evergreen was a wonderful building long before I got here. And I try to offer my 2 cents, but I try to just to be a support to the teachers as well as the families. So if there's ever any questions about what's going on in the building or support services that maybe you or your children could benefit, please do not hesitate to reach out.
And Dr. Taylor really is instrumental in with our new families, bringing those students into the building or online and really getting them to know Evergreen and make them feel comfortable. So he is a wonderful resource. Please reach out to him for any type of counseling needs that your child may need. And even if you have some information to share about your child, you know the most about your child. So we appreciate any kind of input. Please reach out to any of our staff with whatever needs you may have. We're here to meet those needs and to make sure that your child is in a caring, warm environment here at school. So thank you, Dr. Taylor. Good to have you here with us today.
Okay, so now to the important meat of our presentation today. We're going to be going over a lot of information. Like Mr. Mateo said, he is recording this, so you can go back to it and we will get the link to you. So if you have any further questions or need some refreshers, you'll have the opportunity for it. So to start off, when your child comes here to Evergreen, we need you to confirm their transportation. Make sure that you go into the busing tab on Skyward and make sure that it is correct, especially if you are planning on your child being in a daycare, childcare situation, either before or after school. Those changes need to be communicated through transportation. And we've put the link here if you do need to request a different bus for your child that you can click on and you can fill out the form. An important change this year, if you have older children, drop off is not until 8:45 this year. Just because of social distancing, we don't have the room to keep them away from each other or spaced apart. So please, please, please do not drop your child off until 8:45. Oh, let me go to the next slide. Dismissal. So looking at dismissal, again, extremely, extremely important that you check your child's transportation in the busing tab. We will be sending home bus tags for your child. That is what is in Skyward as of right now. I know I mailed mine home today, so you should be getting them in the next few days. It will say what bus they are on, and it will say where their stop is. Please double check that to make sure that we have the right information. And again, that link is there. If you need to change it for childcare, daycare purposes, please get that filled out as soon as possible. We obviously want to make sure that your child is safe and getting home safely to you. If by chance that your child needs to go to the doctor after school, or you have to pick them up for some reason, this needs to be communicated to us, either a phone call, an email, a note in the morning. If we do not have any communication from you, we are required to send them home on their normal transportation. Because what happens is one of the students will say, oh, my mommy is picking me up from school today. Well, then all of a sudden I have 3 kids that are getting picked up from school, but I only have 1 note. And it's just because the kids are saying what they're hearing their friends saying. So we just want to make sure that they are all safe. So please, please, please make sure if you are picking your child up, that you send a note in to us. If you are planning on picking your child up every single day after school, they will be dismissed still from the back of the school. There is a change for those of you who have older siblings or older children. We are going to dismiss the kindergarten kids from my classroom. So if you are picking your child up every day, you'll come back through the gates, around the playground, and come down to where the garden is. And Miss FORGA or myself will be there to get the kids into your cars. That'll also be for the siblings. So if you have an older student in Evergreen, they will also be dismissed from my room. So I know that's a little bit different than what we have done in the past. Please be here by 3:15 so that we can start getting the kids into cars, because it takes a little bit of time, especially for the little ones, to get them situated. And then if you are picking your child up every day, there is a form that Mr. Mateo will be sending out the link. I believe he's doing it through Google forms that you will need to complete, so that this way we can get a number to you, because you'll hold up that number and we'll see, oh, car 3 we know is these children. So we'll know who to put in. So we need that information to you as soon as possible, hopefully by this Friday, if you are picking up your child every single day. If you are just picking them up for an early dismissal, you will pick them up from the office. So that's still normal. Please plan on being here no later than 3:30, just to avoid bus traffic. And you need to park in a parking spot, because our buses do pull up in front of the school and we don't want to block them. So if you are going to pick your child up for a doctor's appointment or something, please, please be here by 3:30.
And I will be emailing everybody that form. So if you are planning on driving your student every single day, you'll be filling that out. Again, that form only needs to be filled out if you are driving them and picking them up every day. Thanks, Ms. Galloway.
All right. Breakfast and lunch is going to look a little different this year for 2 reasons. The first one is we are no longer able to provide the free breakfast and lunch for everybody. That's going to start, you have a grace period. I believe it's 30 days. Is that right, Mr. Mateo? The 30-day window?
You're muted.
I'm not, I actually am not sure. I don't have details yet. Once we have firm details, we'll communicate that to all families.
Thank you. We are asking that every family fill out the free and reduced lunch form this year, even if you know that you will not qualify. We need you to fill that form out, and that's going to be linked right below the free and reduced lunch application. Just click on it, fill it out, submit it. You might get lucky and qualify, but by having those, we stand a better chance of providing for everybody. Breakfast is going to be in the classroom again this year, but it's going to be done a little differently. They are not going to bring the breakfast to our rooms. Your child, when they get to school, is going to have the opportunity to go into the multi-purpose room and pick it up, and then they will come back to the classroom. They're going to get to eat lunch in the multi-purpose room like they've always done, but again, it's going to look different. There will be marks in the hallway where the students line up to go through the lunch line that keeps them distanced from each other. And they're also going to have markings on the table and chairs or benches so that each child knows where they can sit. They're going to sit with their homerooms, but they'll have an assigned spot, and so that's a little different. We are going to be following all of the CDC guidelines, which is why it's easier for our staff to have the students pick up the breakfast, and we're going to be seated with, I believe, 6 feet in between each child. If you look at the 2 links below, the blue ones, because we're no longer serving free to everybody, we're going to be using a platform called My School Bucks. And that's going to be where you turn in, or where you pay for your child's lunches. You'll start off the year with making a deposit, and then you'll be notified, and you can check the balance regularly when you need to reload it. You can also send money to school with your child, cash. They will turn it into their teacher, who will turn it into the cafeteria staff, and you can pay that way. You can do either the app or the cash. So that's about it for breakfast and lunch, I think.
Okay, so the next one, you got it. The next thing we're going to talk about is each day the students will have a rest time throughout the day. Rest time is basically, as you see on our screen, it's a break in our day where the students can relax and teachers can work in small group or complete badge assessments with children. Mrs. Galloway will be talking to you about badge assessments and how they earn them for skills that they'll need to do in kindergarten, but that's a good time that we could do that. During rest time, your child will have the opportunity to watch an educational video, color, or look at a book to relax. They will have their own individual containers because nothing can be shared, as we know, with the new rules and guidelines. We'll be following that. So if they have something that they feel that will keep them calm during that time, or they want to use or hold or have during that time, that would be good to send that in. The FTO will be selling rest mats that you can purchase for your child. They are $25, and you will be able to choose a print for your child. You could see some of them below, some of the prints, but there's quite a selection if you're interested in looking through those. There's a booklet, like a workbook packet that they could look at the different styles. Now, if you don't want to purchase a rest mat, that's fine. You may send in a blanket or a towel for your child to use. And other than that, just as long as they have something to lay down on, especially until the rest mats get in. If you do order them, they will still need something like a small blanket or a beach towel. And if you can please place that in a bag so that they can keep those in their locker when not in use. And that's it. Oh, we will, one more thing I wanted to mention, we will send them home to wash them periodically. Each teacher is different, and based on the fact that we're now going to be here 2 days a week, might lengthen that time a little bit. We do talk to the kids about that, but if you do see the rest mat come home, just please make sure that you can wash it and get it back to us for their next time when they come in. Okay, thank you.
All right. So this Superkids is our language arts program that we teach. They teach the kids to read this year. I always tell parents it's amazing, you know, your child comes in knowing their letters, or they may only know a couple of letters, and they leave kindergarten reading the word fantastic. And I know parents always look at me and think there's no way, but they do. It's very exciting. There are 12 characters, 13 characters that they meet. They think that these super kids are my best friends that we go hang out on the weekends. They believe they are real people. You will find out, they'll come home and talk about them, and they believe that they exist. So it's very exciting. So it's a phonics-based program, so they'll learn their letters, their letter sounds, which plays into the decoding and encoding, the reading and sounding out of words. They also do sight words, and it does do a big focus on handwriting. So those are the super kids. We'll also be doing some journal writing and things like that. So later on in the year, when you start seeing things come home, and you're trying to look at it and you think, what are they trying to write? What are they saying? Sound it out, because we teach them to sound out the words and write down the sounds that they are hearing. So it may not always be perfect at the beginning, but it's teaching them and it's building them up as they learn those phonics skills. That writing will eventually correct itself. So it's really exciting to see. I was even talking with someone today about teaching kindergarten, and I said, this is one of my favorite things above all with teaching kindergarten is seeing them come in, you know, as babies and seeing them leave as readers. It's really exciting. So I hope that you see that transformation in your child this year and you're excited about it too.
Mrs. Galloway, do you want to talk about the math?
Whoops, I'm sorry, I thought you were doing math.
Oh, I can.
Okay.
All right.
Sure, go ahead.
Our math curriculum is ENVISION 2.0. SAVVAS, I believe is how we pronounce it. ENVISION was part of Pearson's curriculum, but SAVVAS purchased them. So the thing that I like about our math curriculum is that it starts at the very beginning of math skills. Your child is going to spend about 2 weeks learning how to write, how to read, how to say numbers starting at 0, and we're gonna go up to 20. The curriculum is designed so that the students will learn a new skill, and then as they keep advancing, it's going to review that skill through different problems. I love the math because it really works on having students solve problems. And it keeps them engaged. Normally they're working together with their peers to help these solve problems. This year, that's gonna look a little different in Mrs. Galloway and Miss Moio's room. Some of the big skills that we're going to cover are number identification and writing. By the end of the year, we do want them writing up to 100. They are counting to 100. We are going to learn addition and subtraction, and that is so exciting to the kids. When we get to that point, like, they really think, man, I am a big kid. And 2D and 3D shapes, as well as patterns. So, is there anything else that either of you want to add for the math?
The students really like the math program, so it is exciting, and they are learning all kind of new skills. So you'll see the math homework come home, and when we break out into our chat groups at the end, each teacher does things a little bit differently on how we go through the curriculum. So we'll go into the details when we break out into our chat room.
He needs to go back. Okay. Tell him to go back a slide.
Mike, can you go back a slide, please? Okay. So the next topic we're going to talk about is the science and social studies. As you can see, they're concepts and skills taught throughout the thematic units. We'll also talk about things that are fiction and nonfiction, mentor texts and picture books to support the instruction. Some of the things that we'll go through depending on what time of the year it is and what we engage in, but some of those themes that we will talk about are like weather, plants and animals, the five senses, matter and energy, habitats and ecosystems. And then in social studies, we talk about rules and our communities. So a lot of it's social sciences as well, maps, holidays that are coming up. So like in January, we'll talk about Martin Luther King Jr. Beginning of the school year, we talk about Johnny Appleseed, Columbus Day, just different things. As it comes and it's fitting for what we're talking about in class. Sometimes we do things how it ties into the curriculum as well with reading and math. We'll also discuss historical figures, cultures, and diversity. And that's something too that we talk a lot about, respect and diversity and cultures when we just do our basic everyday platforms for talking about, you know, respecting everyone. And then the last thing is economics. So we'll just touch on as it comes along, and us, the three of us work together, and we typically plan a lot together. And we, you know, if we're planting and we get to go outside, I know it's going to be a little bit different this year following the CDC guidelines, but we're going to do everything we can to make it very fun and eventful for your child to engage in these things, to really get the full sense of the things they're learning and make the learning meaningful.
All right, let's talk about centers and small groups for a minute. In the classroom, under normal conditions, we're doing centers for our kids, and it's like stations that they would normally rotate through. The thing that's so great about centers is it's all review. The students aren't learning a new concept in it. They are reviewing and practicing what they've learned. It gives them a chance to work together with partners. On different centers, we get to take it even further, and they get to do some problem solving with it. Oh, sorry, the screen beeped at me. When we do small groups is done while students are in centers, and that is a chance for the teacher to work one-on-one or one-on-three, but the instruction is differentiated, which that you may have, your child may be working on letter recognition, and another student's working on letter sounds, CVC words. With small group, you get to target where they're at specifically. It's really great for meeting every child's learning needs, their learning styles. Some kids like to do a lot of writing to practice. Some kids do better if they just get to see the teacher modeling it. So this is a really awesome chance to do that. It is going to look different this year because of COVID, and each teacher will tell you how they're planning on handling it. For my kids on GATE, we will still be doing centers, but I'm going to talk to you about that later. So.
All right, so badging is our report cards. We don't give an A in language arts or a B in math. We do skills, and these skills are ones that the children should know. They have to master these skills, and you'll get a list of what all the skills are at the beginning of the year. And it's either a P, pass, they know it, or when you see it on Skyward, it will be a blank box. If it's a blank box, that means that they have not demonstrated mastery of it. So we're looking for mastery of concepts. So some of the badges that we have saying their ABCs, knowing their capital letters, their lowercase letters. And then as the year goes on, we start with being able to decode words. Same with math. At the beginning, it's counting, 1 to 10. And then we move it to 1 to 20, and then 1 to 50, and then 1 to 100. So we're continually assessing the kids. Like Ms. Forga and Ms. Moio said, we use rest time a lot of times to do this, center time a lot to do the assessments. So if your child comes home and says, hey, I earned a stamp today, that's the badge. So you'll see those coming home. At the end of the 9 weeks, I'll give you a checklist of the ones that your child has earned, so that this way you know. There are some badges at home that we need your help with. They have to know their birthday, they have to know their phone number, their address, and they have to know tying shoes, zipping zippers, and buttoning buttons. Those are things that, especially this year with this children only being here 2 days a week, we don't have the time to teach them. And what I'll do is I send home a sheet that has, my child knows how to say their birthday. You sign it, send it in. And when I see that in their folder, then I ask them, hey, what's your birthday? And if they're able to tell me, they get the stamp for it. So like I said, there are some that require some help from home. But yeah, they really get excited about it. So, and we do a cheer when people earn their badges, and it's also like a self-esteem boosting and making kids celebrate everybody's accomplishments. So it's really exciting. The kids really, truly love the badges.
So the next item we'll talk about are student birthdays. Birthdays will be celebrated within the classroom. Outside treats are permitted only if you look and get that outside treat off of our Gateway School District approved snack list. There's a link that you can click on. Again, this is recorded, so it will all be here for you if you need to revert back to it, but that's the pre-approved list of outside food items on the policy that you could get. You can order snacks from the cafeteria as well if you choose, but I know from past years, you need to complete the form or return the payment at least 2 weeks in advance. If not, they have sometimes some difficulty ordering everything in on time, and that could become an issue. So it's really great either way. We've done both ways. That snack order form is also listed up here on our site. So if you choose to do one or the other, you may. It's not mandatory. You don't have to. Also, birthday party invitations. We always say they can be passed out if the whole class is invited. All the girls are invited or all the boys are invited. But don't ask the teachers or your child to hand out invitations to like certain children. If you could, just keep that in mind, that would be great. Because we don't want anyone obviously to have any hurt feelings if they are not invited. So we'll follow that as best we can. Thank you.
All right. Oh, this got moved. I wonder, hopefully you can still see it. We will correct it. And when you go back, you can actually read it. We are going to use several online platforms this year because even if your child is on the hybrid schedule, they are going to do learning at home 3 days a week. We kindergarten teachers primarily use three, Skyward, Google Classroom, and Seesaw. It's up to the teacher herself if she wants to do other ones. I know that this can be very overwhelming as a parent. I was in this position last year with my two. We will make videos and recordings walking you through everything. Your child is going to have, excuse me, their own email address, and that's how you're going to log into Google. But we will get those videos to you. We will get you all the passwords that you will need. So in the next couple slides, we're going to go into a little bit of detail about each one.
So I'm just going to jump in here. The online platforms can be challenging. Please reach out with any questions. Please reach out to me if you need help with any usernames, passwords. We're here for you. And we'll talk a little bit about that later, but please don't be overwhelmed if you are. We're here to work with you.
Okay. For Skyward.
I'm not that.
Excuse us for a moment. Okay. Can everyone hear me okay? All right. For Skyward, please make sure to log on to your child's Skyward account to update all contact information. Your name, your child's name, birth date, address, anything that's pertinent to what we need to know. Obviously, if it's incorrect, we need to correct that. Even spelling errors or anything like that, just let us know. Also, badges will be updated within Skyward as students demonstrate mastery. So you get to log on and you get to see how your child is doing. There's necessarily not a major time frame for when they get these skills. They have from the beginning of the year until the end of the year. Certain skills, again, will take longer for certain students to go through and do. But we do have some very specific areas with reading that we do in the first 9 weeks, the second 9 weeks, third and fourth. So that would be the only time frame that we would be looking at that they really should try to get and know so they could build off of that with badging. But again, that will be updated. It will be able to be viewed at any point on Skyward. And then lastly, important class and building information will also be posted to the email or emailed through Skyward. So anything that you need to know, it will be sent via Skyward. Accessing it, it can be accessed in two ways. There's a website, as you see the link right there up on the screen. That's the skyward.gatewayk12.org, or there's an app that you can also go into. You should have been given your username and password when you registered. If you do not know this information and you do not have the username or password, please contact Mr. Mateo so that you can get that. Thank you.
I'm going to apologize. I thought I was muted just now. So if you heard feedback or noise, I'm the guilty one. If you want to, I'm going to talk about accessing Google Classroom. If you want to get into Google Classroom and just see what it looks like, you're going to use your child's email and their other ID. And both of those are in Skyward. I attached a picture of my son's so you could see what it looks like. This is the one that was off of the computer. You can download the app for Skyward and that information will still be there, but it is the student's email address and their other ID. Now to get to Google Classroom, you're gonna go to google.com and in the top right corner, you will see a circle with it might have an initial in it. You need to make sure that you have logged into your child's Google. Once they're logged in, it'll have their initial for their first name. There's two parts of Google Classroom that we primarily use. We have the stream, and then we have the classwork tab, and they're listed at the top of Google Classroom when you get in. The stream is where we make class announcements. Students can comment, and we do encourage them to comment and interact with us that way. Just be aware that if you make a comment on a post on the stream, it is not private. So if you want to ask a question about your child, or you want us to know something about your child, do not post it as a comment on the stream. You can email us or contact us however you want to. On the classwork tab, each teacher in the building sets theirs up their own way, but there are, there's like little headers and you can arrange it by topic. And so your teacher will walk you through what hers is gonna look like. But all the classwork, all the assignments will be listed in Google Classroom. It's kind of the hub of everything. It's gonna tell you if you need to go to a different platform like Seesaw. One of the issues that we experienced last year was when your child finishes an assignment, even if they completed it in Seesaw, that's where the actual work was, they need to come back to Google Classroom and make sure they click the button to turn it in. Sometimes the button says turn in, sometimes the button says submit. So depending on what you see, just make sure that it is submitted.
All right, Seesaw is the other program that we use in kindergarten. It allows us to create things that your child can write on. So they are doing the work similar a lot of times to what is done in the classroom. So in order to access Seesaw, you're going to log into seesaw.me, or you can download the Seesaw Classroom app. And I believe it is automatically downloaded on student iPads. So once you've gotten your child's Gateway iPad, it should be there. So when you go to log in, this is the biggest thing. You're gonna click on I am a student, and then in the letter that I sent home with the bus tags and everything, it has a text code for Seesaw. You go down to the bottom and enter that text code. Up above, you'll see username and password. Ignore that. You just want to go to the text code and put the text code in there. Like I said, this is a really great program. Last year at the end of the year, I had my kids sending me videos of them reading things. So this way I could see exactly how they were doing. So at the beginning of the year, some of the things that I'm thinking, I can have the kids video themselves saying the ABCs, or hey, go ahead and video yourself counting, count as high as you can, because they love to show me that they can count. So those are all things that we can do. Like I said, I can also create assignments on there that they can write on, or they can manipulate pieces on there. So you'll see a writing marker, a pencil, an eraser. There's all different apps, or there's all different tools that they can use to write with and to complete the assignment. So that'll be one that we will be using a lot this year for the time when the children are at home, those off days of school that they're not here. If you have questions logging in, obviously let us know to both Google and to Seesaw. This way we can help you out. And like Miss Forga said, we are going to make videos to show you too how to log in and use these things. So it's not something that you should be afraid of or be nervous about. We will help you. That's what we're here for. So
Mr. Mateo, this is your part. All right, I'll do it.
No, I was gonna jump in.
Okay, good.
When I have all these buttons open right now, sometimes it's hard to find my mute button. I apologize for that. So absences, we want to talk about, obviously, for those kids that are coming to school, if they are absent for any reason, we're going to send in an excuse within 3 days. That's our policy. We want to make sure we adhere to that. So for any reason they're absent, please make sure a note comes in and is presented to the teacher so we can record that. We want to make sure we keep those attendance records current, and based on Gateway policy, we really need that excuse in a timely manner. They can be handwritten. We're not real picky about the excuses. We just need something written down. You can also email Miss Pack. That is an option as well. However, if that is not sent, we are going to mark it as unexcused. And just so everybody's aware, 3 unexcused absences will begin the process of truancy. So that's based on our policy. So please make sure we get those notes in for absences. And we do understand kids get sick, especially this year. Now we're going to be talking about symptoms, kids with symptoms. We definitely want to keep them home if they are sick. But it's really important to have that excuse processed in the office. So any questions on that, just reach out to me in the office and we'll work through that with you. Obviously, if your child misses, the work's going to be sent home. But this year is going to be different. We have a totally new outlook on education. So those daily lessons are going to be in Google Classroom. So if your child's at home, they're still going to be able to interact with the class. They're going to be able to check in with the teacher. So we do have that this year. So please be aware that even on a day that they're at home, they can work on their assignments from home. So just be aware of that as we move through our year. We provided this slide as we're dealing with COVID, and we're looking at keeping children at home. These are some questions that we can ask ourselves. Obviously, if you look at that, we have Group A, Group B. At the bottom, if you have 1 or more of those symptoms in Group A, or you have 2 or more symptoms in Group B, you might want to consider keeping your child at home. And obviously you can see there, Group A, a fever of 100 or higher, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing. Over there in Group B, that sore throat, runny nose, chills, lack of smell, muscle pain, etc. You can read those. Those will be available. Those are some of the things that you can ask when you're seeing symptoms of needing to keep a child at home. As you know, this year is much different. All students are now required to wear face mask or a face shield in all areas of our building, except when eating and drinking. We are going to provide the students with face covering breaks. Those will be scheduled into our day. Once the kid, we're assuring that kids are spaced 6 feet apart. So when those kids are spaced, we are able to take those breaks. We also are going to try to utilize a lot of our outdoor spaces where the kids can be outdoors and take those masks off when they're distanced. But we will be having plexiglass dividers on the tables. And obviously, one of the biggest things here this year that we're going to have to adapt to is that materials will not be shared. And that's going to be a particular challenge for our kindergarten teachers to really maintain that, personal materials. So we're going to be working hard here at the building for those of you sending your kids in to maintain a safe environment. And if you have any questions about that, let me know.
Okay, so parents always ask us, what does my child need for the first day of school? So here are the things that we are looking for. Your child will need a backpack, and on that backpack, please make sure those bus tags are attached. Most backpacks have the handle at the top. If you can just tie the bus tag, they're color coded so that this way we know what bus they belong on. And this way, if another staff member within the building sees that, they know which bus their child or that child should be on. They'll need a lunchbox if they're not purchasing a school lunch. We ask you to send in a change of clothes for your child. If you can get one of the big Ziploc bags and put everything down in one bag, that works best. This way, when they knock it out of their locker, they're knocking a whole bag out of the locker instead of just their socks. Because a lot of times when I say, who does this belong to, they don't remember and they don't know if it's theirs or not. So if you can also mark things with their name or their initials, that helps us out tremendously. And if they have an extra mask, they're 5 years old, things happen. So if you're able to provide an extra mask in that bag, that would be great. A blanket or a rest mat, like Ms. Moio talked about, the rest mats can be purchased through the FTO, or if you choose not to order a rest mat, that's fine. Send in a blanket. This way, when we do rest time, they have their own personal space. I also am asking for a towel for them a separate towel for them to be able to take outside. I plan on, like Mr. Mateo said, we're planning on utilizing the outdoors. I have clipboards and things that I plan on using. So if they can sit on a towel and still do their work, I want to get them outside if I can. Also, in that envelope that comes home to you in your mail, there will be a name tag in there. If you can put that on your child for their first day that they are coming to school. This way, when they get off the bus, mine have dinosaurs on it, so I know I'm looking for those kids that have the dinosaur tag. And this way I can say, hey, you're my kid, and I know who I'm looking for, especially since we haven't got the opportunity to meet your child at all. It's really important that they're wearing that name tag. We are also asking for you to send in a clean water bottle every day. All of our water fountains have been covered, so they won't be able to use the water fountains this year. Preferably if that water bottle has a lid that they can easily open and one that's not going to easily spill. Because obviously, again, they're 5 years old and that's, part of what happens. The last thing that we're asking for is a snack, something that is healthy. We ask not to have candy sent in, and something that is individual size. We don't want the party size of Doritos coming in for your child. Also, if you're sending in, say, like an orange, please make sure that it's peeled already so that this way your child can easily eat it. But that's really what they need for the first day. We supply a pencil box, pencil, crayons for them, scissors, glue I have here at school. So they don't need any of that stuff. I will be sending home in their folder a donations paper that has different things that I'm looking for that I'll be using a lot of in the class. So that's where, if you're looking to purchase things, that's where you can find things that you could purchase to help us out.
I just wanted to add, we do have a touch-free water bottle filler here at the school. So if your child does bring a bottle, they will be able to fill that up. We'll make sure that their water is made available for them.
Mr. Mateo, there is a question in the chat that just came through. Are there any rules, guidelines regarding snacks such as nut-free?
We have not, that's a great question. We have not seen the health list for the classes yet. So we will let you know if there's a nut allergy within the classroom. But right now, if you looked on our school district approved snack list, you'll see that that list contains lots of nut-free snacks that can be sent into the building. So I would reference that list on our website, and I'll make sure I provide a list or a link to that for everyone. Excellent. Well, at this time, we would like to give you, if you would like to, a chance to just meet informally with each teacher that you are assigned to. I'm going to create and assign everybody into a room with